Longlegs is the new horror movie starring Maika, Monroe, and Nicolas Cage. Welcome back to Movie Health Community, the internet's #1 source of health warnings at the movies. I'm about to go into Longlegs not having actually watched or paid attention to any of the trailers. I am so excited for this. But what I'm even more excited about is the sound that's playing right now. This is the anticipation sound for is this movie safe for photosensitive audiences? That's a new feature here. The answer is... yes, Longlegs is safe for photosensitive audiences. And I mean that mostly. That it's almost completely safe. There's a scene of rapidly changing images that may create a very minor and very brief strobe effect. This happens while somebody is flipping through a bunch of different Polaroid pictures, like those instant delivery pictures. So while someone is flipping through these pictures, you're going to get a brief little glimpse of some rapidly changing images. After that, you're going to see some spinning style police lights at nighttime. The solid red screen that is the background for the opening credits of this movie may cause a little bit of eye strain. It's a lot brighter and more harsh than this red that we use whenever something is not photosensitivity friendly. Finally, the neon production logo. The first thing you see in this movie after the previews are over. It has a brief strobe effect. Neon, please, for the love of God, stop using that. Now that may sound like I had a lot to say about the flashing lights, but it does equal out to very mild and very predictable flashing lights. So for Longlegs, we are giving flashing lights a 2 out of 10. Very mild reasons for caution. In terms of motion, there is one shot in the entire movie I would be remotely worried about. That's one where the camera slowly rolls forward and then is looking upside down by the end of it. That can be a little disorienting. It's with the trigger warnings I actually do have a lot to say. We've got several murder-suicides that are being investigated. We get descriptions of what happens during these cases, and we get depictions of some of them. This movie has a lot of blood, both human and animal, and one brief scene of violence against an animal that does result in gore. We get warned when we are about to see a decaying corpse. This decaying corpse is covered with maggots. We get scenes depicting religious indoctrination. We have set design that depicts hoarding. We get a ringing in the ears sound effect twice within about 2 minutes of each other. And during a montage late in the movie where a lot of exposition is delivered, we see somebody vomit in full view of the screen. That should about cover it from the evaluation side of things. Now, is Longlegs any good? That would depend on what kind of movie you're trying to watch. If you were trying to watch a version of The Silence of the Lambs that has an investigation into a weirder version of Buffalo Bill, but doesn't have a Hannibal Lecter, then you're probably going to enjoy this movie. That being said, there are multiple things that disappointed me about this movie. First off, the fact that they are making a Silence of the Lambs type movie, and they don't have anyone as interesting as a Hannibal Lecter type character for our investigative character to get into the mind of to find this new killer. But the thing that bothers me most about this movie is that even though Nicolas Cage goes full Nicolas Cage in every scene that he's in, it seems like he is in a different movie that everybody else is making. Like the direction wasn't, we're making a murder mystery where Nicolas Cage is the Buffalo Bill. We're making a murder mystery that takes itself completely seriously, and we're not telling you who we're casting as the Buffalo Bill type character. I don't know if it's because of the unfortunate timing of this movie or if it was intentional, but with one side character, I found myself thinking a lot about Shelley Duvall in The Shining. And given that Shelley Duvall's passing in real life had been announced just hours before I watched this movie, I can't say for sure if it was the performance itself that reminded me of that or the fact that Shelley Duvall was on my mind during some of the day. But that being said, that supporting performance is right on par with as good as Shelley Duvall was in The Shining. And I hope that the actress giving this performance wasn't as internally damaged by that as Shelley Duvall was by The Shining. There is a side character whose beliefs are very inconsistent. we understand that this person believes one thing that seems kind of impossible about the main character. Then as ideas that are less ridiculous about the main character are unfolded, this side character seems to be more skeptical about these more believable ideas than he was about the less believable idea. So that just seems like a fault in writing a little bit. Either make him skeptical about everything she's doing or have him as a full believer on everything she's doing. Now, there is some tension to be felt in this movie, and if you're looking for Nicolas Cage to be really weird at like a Vampire's Kiss level of weird, then you're probably going to enjoy that. If you want that for as small a portion of the movie as Buffalo Bill was in Silence of the Lambs, then yeah, you're probably going to enjoy this movie. But for my Nicolas Cage weirdness, I need him to be a more central figure, and I need the movie to be built around that kind of weirdness. And I need it to be fitting within that world rather than taking me out of it. And Longlegs really failed for me on that front. So I am going to give Longlegs a D. Thank you so much to our readers on Tumblr and Facebook, and as always, an extra special thanks to our patrons over on our Patreon page whose names are scrolling on the screen like credits right now. As a reminder, nothing produced by Movie Health Community is medical advice, nor has any of it been reviewed by any medical professionals. Be sure to leave a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we post new videos, and leave a comment if you have anything to add to this discourse, especially if you disagree with anything I've said. We love hearing from you. And we've got a really cool thing that's going to happen from now on, starting with our review of Twisters next week. And as always, stay safe at the movies.